What is up, ninjas? My name is Sam World, and today you will be learning how to make your very own uplifters. Now, there are huge pros to making your own uplifters, guys. The first one is that if you're obviously using sounds you have in your song already, that uplifter is gonna fit. It's gonna fit the theme of your song. You're not gonna have a very obnoxious one. Two, you're gonna be able to decide the length. A lot of times you might find a good uplifter that's 2 bars, but you want it to be 16 bars. So again, going about it, making it yourself, you're gonna be able to decide all these little things. Sometimes you have uplifters that just pitch too high up and you don't want them to go that far up because you're not there yet, you're barely on the come up. Then again, you're gonna have utmost control of this. There's a lot of pros to it, there's no cons. The only con is the fact that you have to make it yourself. But again, if you know how to program an uplifter, you should be able to use presets from cymatics, from my presets, any presets you have that you're using in a song to make an uplifter that makes sense, and again, have utmost control around it. With that being said, though, guys, if you want to support my channel, make sure to head over to evilsounds.com. I am currently working on Deceiver Volume 2, which will be out this month. You know, I've been putting in work into that one, and I'm trying to make it as good as I can. So that's why it's taking a while, but be on the lookout for it, guys, and let's get straight into this tutorial. Now, the uplifter, guys, is pretty simple. A lot of people say it's a sound pitching up, and that is true. So in Serum, we're going to be doing it like this. LFO1, we're going to turn this to the right. Now, ever since Serum came out, I've been using it for uplifters for the one reason that this BPM knob here, I have almost control of it. I can make it 16 bars, 32 bars, whatever I want. So again, it's very easy to nail down the amount the length of this uplifter. From here, we're going to do a 4-bar one. What I can do is I can go and just make a MIDI. So this is usually what most of you guys are going to do. You can also bounce it down if you're trying to make a sample pack full of uplifters to sell. And I'm going to put it at G2 just so we have that sound. From there, we're going to route this LFO1 to our coarse pitch. You don't want to route that to your sem or your octave unless you're trying to get like a thrup, kind of like a bleepy video gamey kind of ARP. No, we want to route that to the coarse. The reason for that, guys, is the fact that the coarse, if we play a note, you can see that it goes from 0 to 100 and it gets every little 0.01, 0.02, 0.03 value in there. If I go with sem, you can hear that it's big steps up, and if I go with octave, obviously, it's going to sound more like like a little computer program. So we want to go with coarse for this. And when you put it in, it's going to be bipolar. That means it goes both directions. However, we want it to go up, positive vibes. You know, we're in LA, or I live in LA, so yoga. So positive vibes only, no negative, unless you're making downlifters. From here, we can choose how high it goes. So I'll opt to do it more higher up there, okay? From here, there are a couple of decisions you have to make, and this is all going to pertain to the sound design of your uplifter. The first one is, do you want your uplifter to sound like it's thinning out the higher it goes up, or do you want it to reveal itself? That's going to decide what kind of filter you use for it. Now, you don't have to use a filter. However, I like to. Let's say we want to go with a high pass. This one's going to give you more of a cool uplifter that thins out the higher it goes up, so it's going to sound like this. Okay, so we have that running 4 bars. We have our MIDI note set to 4 bars, so that's why it works. You can see that you don't hear a click, you don't hear any of that. That's the important thing about having this be in envelope mode, by the way. Okay, so from there, that's going to be an uplifter you get. You're going to add your effects like some reverb, and you can also automate that. To get an uplifter of sorts. Now, let's say that you're cool with that, but now you want the other route. Now you can use a low pass, which is going to give you more of an uplifter that comes from the bottom. Now we hear. Overload. And there we go. We get an uplifter, which a lot of you guys know and you've heard a lot. So this is how a lot of them are made. Now, again, if you have a preset, then you can easily just grab your preset, grab one of the LFOs that isn't being used, and just do this kind of programming. Now, there's more to it. The next thing is that a lot of uplifters will start low level and go up. And if you want to add that to yours, that's totally fine. You can definitely add it like so, and then maybe bring this up a bit more. So that way you have a bit more dynamics in terms of volume in your uplifter. Okay. Now, if to take things even further, if you want your uplifter to have all these crazy things, like let's say you want to have a wave table and you want it to change over time, this is another great way to get unique uplifters. Now, unique uplifters are dope But the thing with them is that a lot of times I'll make them and they're not used as much. People like to go for more of the traditional ones that already work, like the saw, the square, the pitch, the helicopter, which we're going to do as well right now in a bit. But again, it's up to you. I mean, if it works for your track, that's cool. But again, just remember, this LFO, you can route it to anything. And it will help in just getting cool little stuff. Like you can see the wavetable changing. You can make this chorus be lower. And you can see that's changing. Other things to do is you can add sync. You can do FM from B. This one's a little harder to pull off just because you're going to have this guy as well pitch up if you want the FM ratio to stay the same. So we can have that go up as well. The 2 minutes. And you can see how we get the uplifter. Now, there are a lot of more cool tricks you can do. The first one is if you want this uplifter to sort of have like a doot, 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 which is very popular in tech house. You can do a lot of cool stuff. Then we can add another LFO to this. Just remember that LFO one will be opening this up slowly, but this LFO is going to base it on where we're at, and it's going to open it up. So you can definitely go super high up and go with a rate of 160. You can then un-BPM that if you want, and then you can add an envelope with a high decay, so that way it goes from really high to really low. And this decay is what's going to essentially tell you how long it takes for this modulation to happen. So we want it to be maybe around 6 seconds. Which sounds pretty cool, as you guys can see. Now, again, you can also set this down to be like like 2 bars if you wanted to, and then do like more of those little shots that you tend to hear in tech house. But as you guys can see, the basics just comes down to, you know, let's ease up here, to just, again, this LFO being modulated on the pitches, and then from there, knowing how to utilize the filters to achieve the desired effect. There we go. We can do 1 bar as well. Again, we're just gonna, and then just make sure that you have this set to 1 bar, unless you want to get an effect like that where it's coming from like an uplifter and straight into a. You got me burning up in this bitch. All right, so you guys get the idea there with that. Now, there are some very popular uplifters I'll teach you guys. Obviously, again, this is just a little bit more busy, as you can see, so that's why they're not as popular. But, I mean, we can do like little cool things like pitch up and then slowly have this guy do more like a laser. So let's make this last maybe like 4 bars, and then we'll slowly bring this guy down. Let's lower the volume a bit. Okay, you get the idea there. We can also have his guy moving fast do the opposite. So that's going to entail just doing this, the opposite of that, so that it speeds up instead. And there you go. You get really pro sounding uplifters. The cool thing here too is some uplifters I'll add reverb to them. And sometimes I go like, should I or should I not? Because again, reverb also plays a role in getting your track to sound gel together. So adding the reverb that you have in your synths to the uplifter might make a bit of sense. Okay, now the last thing I'll show you guys is you can definitely add this to the pan. If you want to get the helicopter, just 160. And I call it the damn helicopter. I don't know why. You can slow it down, increase in speed. But again, guys, the basic concept of the uplifter is always going to be this LFO here. And then from there, you can choose to have dynamic change and whatnot. Now, if you want to make an uplifter with like white noise, that's a whole other topic. But it's the same thing. But for this one, you are going to have to utilize filters to manipulate that feeling of going up. You're going to have to manipulate, again, the white noise. And one of the ways to do that is, again, high resonance and have it moving slowly from left to right here. So we're going to lower the volume on it. And let's get rid of all of these modulations. That's one, and then we can go again with the low pass. You don't have to have the resonance and you don't have to have a filter for white noise, but just make sure to at least EQ out some of the lows that you don't need for your uplifter, okay? Okay, so I'll leave it up to you guys. For white noise uplifters, I'm not going to lie, I use Silent One a lot for that. But when it comes to everything else, serum is king, just due to the fact that, again, as you guys saw, with this LFO here, setting it up is a breeze. Just make sure that your MIDI says four bars as well, and you have the note you want. Okay, and other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it kind of gives you guys ideas on how to do it. And I'll catch you guys next time. You want to support the channel, evilsounds.com. And let's hope the Serum Volume 2 comes out this month. I have a lot of work ahead of me. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.